Howdy, howdy. It is your old buddy Merlo joining you guys today on this wonderful Saturday evening. Hope you guys had a great week, and let's look forward to next week. It's going to be a good one. I know it. I just absolutely know it. Yeah, this should be an interesting chat. Don't see anybody in the chat yet, but if there is anybody in the chat, say hi. Or not. Whatever. But, love that intro there. There we go. There's Drayton Sawyer. There's the man himself. The man who picked this movie. I have a lot to say about this movie. Okay. I think I do, anyways. Hey, and there's Kyle Curtis Flat Lives. Thank you for tuning in there, man. I got your message, and I think the 21st works. I have to double check, though. The wife is not here right now, and I have to check everything with the wife. But it should. We'll see. Yeah. How are you doing, though? How are you guys doing? Love that intro, man. I got to come up with some different type of music. All the stuff I have that's just instrumental seems to be heavy stuff. I do write other types of tunes, just so you know. Actually, though, the other show I was doing was more of a punk feel to it. More of a punk feel, not so heavy. That was the movie chat one. I don't know if you guys caught that. If you want to go check that, I might have it on here. I'll play that one for you guys if I still have it on here. Maybe I don't. Maybe I took it out. I think I took it out because I knew I wasn't doing that show anytime soon. Yeah, I don't see that one anymore. I must have taken it out. Yeah, I did. Sorry, guys. Doing good. Glad to be home. Yeah, I hear you. It's good to be home sometimes. Today was kind of a crummy day here. I wanted to go out. I did go to the library with my family. You know, they have like story time for kids there. My daughter just loves it. My 6-month-old baby is starting to get to that point where he's getting close to walking and stuff like that. Well, not like really close, but he sure wants to. He wants to walk. He's at that point, and he sees all these other kids doing stuff, and he's like, "I want to do that. I want to do that." So he tries really hard. He's crawling, but he's not walking. He will. Hopefully not too soon. Well, even the crawling, it's like, where's he going to end up? Like today, I found him on the edge of our bed after he had a nap on our bed. We got to put him in a damn crib more often. But he was having a nap. I just happened to walk into the bedroom, and he's wide awake, and he's right on the edge of my bed. Right on the edge. I'm like, oh my God, buddy. You should have said something. He was quiet. He was just chilling. But he looked like he was about this close to taking a flying leap off the bed. I'm sure it wouldn't have done anything too major to him, but you don't want that. You don't want a 6-month-old taking a flying leap off the bed. There's Mario from Degree Centigrade. Good afternoon to you as well as evening here, more so. Still light out, though. It's that time of year where the sun stays up quite a while, and I like that. I like that it's light. Yeah. So glad you guys have tuned in. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys have all seen this movie. I hope you guys have. And just a few plugs I'm going to do here. I don't, like to plug myself too much, but at the same time, we got time. So, the Sawyer Massacre Indiegogo is live. We have a goal to hit by tomorrow night. I hope to hit it. So if you can share it around as much as you can. If you haven't contributed yet, please do. Or not, whatever. It's totally up to you. But it'd be very helpful if you did. And we got some new perks that we added this week. Some on the lower end and some on the higher end. On the lower end, we've added these really cool keychains with the poster image built in, and these mangled magnets that are shaped like VHS boxes. So these are like magnets for your fridge. Very, very cool. He said he's going to ship me a few just for freebies. So that's pretty cool that he's going to do that. and it's Thomas Bruce that makes these. He's made these ones that you see already, and I think they're pretty cool. So they're not very expensive, and they're just cool little mementos that you can have on our Indiegogo. And then on the more pricey end, if you like screen used type stuff, Sick and Twisted Effects made the cool arm, I should say. Really, it's really an arm with a hand attached that we have dangling from the rafters, and then we've got the face that he, you could have thought maybe Leatherface could wear this face. Leatherface does not wear this face. I will say that. He wears 4 faces in the film. This isn't one of them, but it's hanging from a chain from the ceiling, going through the eyeball, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's a cool face, and they're expensive because they're made of silicone. They're not quite as expensive of the mask because they're not quite as in depth as the masks, but very, very cool, that's for sure. Very, very cool things to have. Made of silicone, so again, a little on the pricey side, but if you like screen used stuff, and these are pretty cool screen used items, so get them while you can. Only a few of them. We only had a few of them. We had 2 hands and just the 1 face, so 3 of those total. So it's very, very, very limited, one of a kind type stuff. So except for the hands, they're 2 of a kind. That sounded weird just saying that. Drayton says it's a weird movie, that's for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. We're gonna get into. You guys like to give me these sort of documentary-ish style suggestions, which I don't mind, actually. I don't mind. I actually kind of like this movie. Did you guys like it? Have you guys all seen the Poughkeepsie tapes? I believe I'm pronouncing it right now. The Poughkeepsie tapes. That's how they were pronouncing it in the movie. So, of course, my Western Canadian accent is probably not very good for pronouncing that, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, this was another first time watch for me. Of course, these are all going to be first time watches for me because that's what the show is about. Suggest movies for me to watch, and 2 weeks in a row we're kind of in this sort of found footage, sort of documentary type of thing. It's kind of neat though. It's kind of neat. I actually liked last week's movie a fair amount. I would say I probably liked this one a little more, even though I still have some problems with it. Don't get me wrong. There's always issues with a film, but I think I could say I probably enjoyed this movie a little bit more than I enjoyed Banshee Chapter. Just a little bit. Banshee Chapter was kind of slow, and the jump scares kind of took me out of it a little bit. I wish I don't feel like they needed a lot of the jump scares that they had in that movie, whereas this one didn't have jump scares really. None really. They had it. This was basically an Unsolved Mysteries episode. Is the best way I could describe it. It's unsolved, and it really feels unsolved at the end of this whole thing. So let's get into it a little bit. Okay, first, in Espanol is called Las Cintas del. Oh God, I'm not even gonna try it. Camicuerto del Rio. Camicuer. Oh man, I just butchered your language there, Mario. Sorry. Don't speak Espanol. Mario is usually Italian, so I meet with the name Mario. So there you go. But Spanish, Italian, it's all the same, right? It's not, but they are similar. They are similar. I don't know any Italian either. Funny enough, the second language I know more of than any else is actually German, and I have no German blood in me whatsoever. I took German for a year in grade 9, sorry, a semester in grade, not for an entire semester in grade 9, as opposed to the French that I took. We in Canada have to take French all through elementary school, and even the first, I took it in grade 8 as well. I guess that would be considered my freshman year. We don't have those terms in Canada either. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. We don't have those. Yeah. So where was I going with that? Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, I picked up more German in that one semester than I ever did French. I don't know why. I don't remember a lot of French. I kind of remember the numbers a little bit. I'm always good with things like numbers. Yeah, but that's about it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Chemicaro or Chemicero? Chemicaro or Chemicero? I don't know. I don't know if you just misspelt it the first time or if that's the pronunciation. Anyways, sorry guys. Yeah, remember a little bit of German anyways. It also helps that I worked in a German bakery for a year or two. That also picked up, yeah. Anyways, has nothing to do with this movie, so let's get talking about the movie. You guys put your thinking caps on as far as more movies for me to watch. Keep in mind, there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. There really is. That's why I've really suggested is it doesn't have to be all totally obscure, underground kind of stuff. I did get quite a few suggestions, but most of them were pretty underground-ish. So, I mean, you guys can feel free to suggest something that's popular. For example, I haven't seen all of the Conjuring movies. I think I've seen just the first one, actually. Did I see the second one? I can't remember. I can't even remember whether I saw the second one. I might have. I don't know. Or the Insidious movies. I know I've only seen the first one. But again, those movies really aren't my cup of tea. Possession and stuff like that. It's not really, never been my cup of tea. Again, a lot of jump scares, It's, so I mean, I don't mind you guys suggesting a bad movie, not necessarily a bad movie, a movie that's not my cup of tea though either. Although I probably would want to choose something that intrigues me a little bit more. That's just why I picked the Poughkeepsie tapes. I was looking at all the suggestions from last week, and there was quite a few. You guys suggested quite a few. Conjuring the Devil Made Me Do It was the best one, I'd say. Okay, maybe I should watch that one. That was the last one they made. Conjuring 3 or 4. You can tell I'm not a fan of these. Yeah. Where was I going with that? But yeah, I mean, after you guys suggested all those movies, I kind of went through the list of the ones I saw in the chat and was looking up like the premise basically, and making sure it was on Netflix or Tubi. I think those are really the only two that, or it can be on YouTube if you want to. It can be something that's on YouTube or like Vimeo. I guess, I mean, most stuff on Vimeo is free to access. That's the only way I watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre these days, is Vimeo. I don't have it downloaded. I did have it downloaded on my old computer, and that I need to extract the hard drive from that because it's unfortunately a non-working computer now. It is what it is. Yeah, then there's the spin-off movies. Yeah, they did like the Annabelle ones, and the doll looks nothing like the real Annabelle and all. Yeah, I know. And I've heard some people say one of the Annabelle movies is good. I think those movies, for me personally, is I know a lot of people are going to rag on me for this. I don't really believe in a lot of that stuff. I don't believe in ghosts and demons and stuff like that. And it's one of the reasons why I don't hold The Exorcist as the top movie in horror. I just don't really believe that stuff. And I'm not going to go out and say it's definitely not possible. It's definitely not real. I'm just gonna say I'm a person that doesn't believe in something totally until I see it. I'll believe it when I see it, and sometimes even when I see something, I'm like, did I see what I think you know? I'll second guess myself until I'm like certain. I have to be damn certain I saw what I saw. Like, for example, here, guys, I live in the beautiful Okanagan Valley in a lovely town called Kelowna, but we have a mythical creature here in our lake called the Ogopogo. So this is a good example here because yeah, I don't know if any of you have heard of the Ogopogo or not. Some of you may have. It's basically our Loch Ness monster, basically. So many years ago, though, when I was still in high school, I was out with a couple of friends of mine. We were just, doing teenager stuff. I think I was 17, maybe close to 18 by this point, and we were doing what all Canadian kids like to do, and we're jumping off the dock with our bike. On the bike, we were actually jumping off the boathouse roof. It was fun. It was fun though. It was fun. You put a little tire around. Anyways, the point is getting out of the water at one point in the far distance, like really far away. I saw like a quick thing spin around in the water, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" I don't know. It could have been my eyes playing tricks on me. It could have been some weird glare in the sun. The sun was kind of weird that day. It was very, very far away, but it looked like I saw something kind of spiral through the water. Now, I'm not going to go on record and saying, oh, I totally believe in the Ogopogo now, because I don't. I don't know what that was. I saw it was so quick, and I felt like my eyes were playing tricks on me. And they very well could have. And the other guys didn't see it. It was really quick. So, I mean, I don't know. Is it possible there's some sort of creature in our lake? I guess so. I don't know. I don't know. But, I mean, it's doubtful that it's a dinosaur or something. Doubtful. Very, very doubtful. But so that's an example. Yeah. I like to watch movies that can scare me, essentially horror movies that can scare me. And it's when it can tap into something you've kind of seen before, that's when I find them to be very powerful. So this movie was kind of cool because a lot of it did feel, it felt like something you have seen on those shows again, like Unsolved Mysteries or Dateline or whatever shows there are. I can't remember. There's a new one now, and I can't remember, a newerish one. And I'm not very good with the names of all these shows. And I actually enjoy watching those shows, even though they can be pretty depressing. You find out this person was a terrible killer and killed all these people in terrible ways. And but for some reason, I find them intriguing. And this was no exception, even though I guess the one thing that kind of brings it down is, it's fake. It's not real. And the actors were good. I would say the actors in the Poughkeepsie tapes were good, but not quite to that point where I actually believed it. And I have got to be going for just 1 second, everybody. My wife is banging around. Just bear with me. We're going to get back to this. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Now you guys do know, though, that I do wear pants. My wife forgot her keys, and so I had to let them in because I had the door locked. It happens. What were we talking about again? Now I gotta get my train of thought back on here. We're talking about the Poughkeepsie. Okay, so we're comparing it to like one of those true story. The interviews were all real people, and they did pretty well with the Poughkeepsie tapes, convincing you. But there are like little moments where you can feel like they were acting. You know what I mean? Just little moments. So I mean, if there's one thing that kind of drags it down, like there were just those little moments that took me out of the documentary. Feel like this was real. And it's funny enough, I was talking about I was on John Evans' podcast earlier, behind the Fiends, talking about the Blair Witch Project and how all the interviews and stuff in the early parts of that film felt so authentic. So, I don't know if they're ever going to be able to do it that good ever again. It's funny, you could tell this movie had probably a way higher budget than the Blair Witch Project ever did, but for some reason they were able to capture a very authentic type of performances from all those actors. They were all actors too. They weren't fake people. They weren't people they weren't actually people that believed in what they were saying. There was no actual mythical, all that. It was all scripted for the most part. So, that felt very realistic, and I believed it. That was the thing about Blair Witch. You believed every second of it. This movie, even though the acting, I still have to say the acting was good. But there were like little moments where you could tell that they were acting, does that make sense? I can't knock the actors, because they actually, for the most part, they did pretty damn good. I felt they did pretty damn good. But there was just those, few moments here and there where I thought, okay, this is definitely fake. It's not, we're not watching a real documentary here. Which I pretty much knew going in, but there's a part of you that's like, you want to believe it, right? And a lot of the stuff they showed looked very, very, very good. A lot of the actual footage of the killer taking from his handy cam or whatever, that looked like something you would have recorded on in the early 90s or something like that. You compare that to like early 90s footage, and it looks pretty accurate. I'm not sure exactly when a lot of these were meant to take place. 2001 was the only date I really remember being mentioned. So it's hard for me to pinpoint when everything took place. Some of the twists and turns in the film I kind of liked, although the police partner, the cop that got pinned for the murders. Spoilers here, guys. So I hope everybody has seen this movie. I really should put the spoilers. I got to get one of those spoiler graphics to put in here. But spoilers. Basically, it gets pinned on a cop in the movie. And right from when that was starting, I didn't believe for a second that the cop was the killer. But I wondered how it was going to play out. And I thought I wonder if there's somebody tell me in the chat, is there a killer that they based this off of loosely, particularly? I'm interested to know. I'm definitely interested to know if this was loosely based off a certain serial killer. Let's read you guys' chats a little bit. Great story. I never cared for the Annabelle movies. The Nun movie was okay though. Yeah, I haven't seen it. If you think that's a one I should watch, I will. Did you watch the Taking of Deborah Logan? I don't believe I have. The name sounds familiar, but I don't think I've seen that one. I don't believe I have. I heard that Lionsgate wants to do another Blair Witch movie. Be interesting if they could. If they had to do something different with it. Again, on John's podcast today, one of the people on the panel, Jason Pitts, who's a great indie filmmaker. I've had him on the show before. He was heavily defending Blair Witch 2: Book of Shadows, which I have to admit I haven't seen since probably 2003, I want to say. Maybe 2004. So 18, 19 years since I've seen that. I remember not really caring much for it. Other than the ending, I remember the ending sticking out as kind of a, whoa, what the hell kind of thing. But ultimately not really thinking much of it at the time. So it's one of those movies I feel like I should go back and rewatch. Probably should. I don't know. What do you guys think? The 2016 movie though, Blair Witch. No. That was not a good movie. That was and no offense to anybody who liked that one, but as you guys heard me talk about last week, jump scares like that was maybe the biggest offender for cheap jump scares in any recent horror film. It was just too much, and at the end of the day, you're trying to recapture found footage, but with all this new high tech stuff, drones and it looks too fancy schmancy, and the acting was not on par. It's I don't know. I can't get behind the 2016 film. Just me personally, but I'd be interested to see if we're talking today on the podcast, and there is a lot you can do with the Blair Witch Project. There is a lot you can do. Because there's a lot of mythology they put into it that they do have a lot of backstory that's not really in the movie so much, but there's some cool concepts out there. Be interesting. John was even saying somebody should make a Blair Witch fan film. Yeah, not me. Not yet. Anyways, we'll see. Yeah. Hey, I'll never say never. But not yet, that's for sure. It's not I doubt I ever would. But anyways, back to this movie. How did we get on to talking about the Blair Witch? Oh, because of the interview style, documentary-ish type of stuff. That's why. So yeah, I was comparing it to the Blair Witch Project. So, yeah. I only like the original Blair Witch. Yeah, me too. Again, I probably should give the second one a rewatch. If Jason Pitts liked it, he's probably found, again, there's probably stuff I missed when I first watched it. I probably missed a lot because I think I remember kind of falling asleep a little bit while watching it. And I was young. I got bored easily. I've grown a bit more of an attention span now as I've gotten older. And I can pay attention a little more and look at actual details and unravel a few things, just saying. I probably could. So I'd be willing to give it another chance. Maybe we should all give Book of Shadows another chance. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there anybody in the chat that actually thinks Book of Shadows is worth a rewatch? Anybody? I sound like Ben Stein there. In anyone? No, that's I don't even, in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think Blair Witch was one of the first found footage movies ever made too. Yeah, I mean, I guess Cannibal Holocaust would be the only, as far as I know. And I guess there was another movie around the same time as the Blair Witch Project, though, that came. I believe it came out before the Blair Witch Project. I think I could be wrong. We were talking about it today, and I don't know. And I heard a lot of people say that the Blair Witch Project ripped that movie off, but I don't know. And it's about the Jersey Devil or something. I can't remember the name of it now, though. And again, Jason Pitts was saying that he really liked that movie, so I should really go see that. I should see it, but I like the Blair Witch Project. I don't know. Again, it's mostly for the acting more than anything else. It's believable. Some kids distracting me outside. You probably can't hear them, but I kids playing around outside. Lots of fun. To be young again, right? So yeah, that was maybe one of the things that took me out of the Poughkeepsie tapes a little bit. Also, they put a lot of emphasis on that. Her name was Cheryl Dempsey, was the big victim in the film, which I kind of liked that idea. And they built her up. They built up the character, and they built up like this was going to like she had the worst experience, and she obviously did. She had a worse experience than any other victim in that movie. I guess you could say, we got Bootleg 317 is in the chat as well. Hey, man. Thank you for tuning in. The original Blair Witch is one of the scariest movies for me. I have this weird fear of the deep woods. Hey, man. Again, I kind of agree. I think it is one of the scariest movies. And it's got supernatural elements, and I usually don't care much for supernatural type of stuff. But again, the genuine performances of the actors really kind of made that for me. Hey, and there's Rob Mahoney, who was on the Blair Witch podcast earlier with me. Here we are supposed to be talking. We're supposed to be talking about the Poughkeepsie tapes, and we're talking more about the Blair Witch. The last broadcast. That's the one. That's right, Jared. Yes. Yes, I have to. I'm gonna have to. Maybe I should make that next week's episode if it's available for me to watch anywhere. I mean, maybe that's one I will do. Maybe I'll do it if I can find it. If not, if I can't find it, then I'll have to do something else. But yes, that was the name, Jared. Yes, the last broadcast. Gonna have to check it out. How are you doing, Rob? Thank you for. It was good to chat with you today. It was chat with everybody today. That was my first time chatting with Jamie at all, so that was kind of nice to talk to her. She actually reminded me a lot of one of the actresses in our film. Anyways, back to the Poughkeepsie tapes. So we're talking about Cheryl Dempsey was the character's name. When they got into that part of the movie, and you know, they built it up so much in the first act of the film. I don't know if it quite lived up to the hype as the way they built it up. Now, I don't look at it and say, hey, it wasn't terrible what she went through. And we don't even know how many freaking years she was trapped like that. And I think by the end, you kind of feel really, really bad for this person. And I don't think you needed to see much. I definitely don't think we needed to see a lot. But I feel like they could have implied more stuff with that character that would really make you feel for her. Again, I think what she went through, as a character was really, really bad. And, by the end, again, spoiler alert, the cops find her, and she's a complete wreck, and eventually she kills herself because of, and she's gotten to the point now where she can't live without this terrible, terrible person that's, obviously abused her, raped her, God knows what he's done to her. And I think, that's where you kind of felt the worst for her was at the very, very end. But I just felt like you could have, I don't know, it still was good. I think it still, it wasn't good. It was terrifying. But I wasn't terrified enough. I wanted to really, really, really feel bad for her during that situation. And I like that you don't know, you pretty much figure she's going to die by the hands of the killer. I think it's kind of interesting that she's found, but it's kind of like her life is over anyways, so she may as well kill herself, and that's why she did. And by the time that you found her, they found her, it's almost like you knew that that was what the outcome was going to be. If she was found alive, well, what is left of her? It's, kind of like Sally in the end of the Texas Chainsaw. If any survive, what will be left? I firmly believe 100% that Sally would have eventually committed suicide in real life, or been spent the rest of her days in a psych ward. It would have been one or the other. I don't believe the outcome that we see in the new movie. That's for sure. So I mean, that made sense to me. That it just made sense to me that this person's life is over. So even though she's alive, her life is over, and it would be surprising if you'd almost feel ripped off if she didn't commit suicide, because you don't want to see a person live the rest of their lives, live a long life in that kind of state. You just don't. So you almost feel better for her that she did commit suicide, that she did end it all. So it's terrible to think that, but at the same time, yeah. It was very interesting with her. The actress that played that character, and you only really see her really at the end, like really well. So they show her the camera footage, the handycam footage of her and stuff like that early in the film, and it's like, what is she really? You can't really tell what she looks like. I bet she always kind of probably looked. That's probably why they cast her, because she close up, she doesn't look that good, and probably older than. She's probably an older person than the character she was playing, all that kind of stuff, which worked out well because, again, you don't see well with all that handy cam footage. And she's got a mask on her face during a lot of the imprisonment type scenes, during the torture scenes, whatever you want to call them. Brutal. I was happy to at least see those Girl Guide cookies girls not get hacked up or anything. That would have, I don't know. But the first girl, though, but hey, this was a movie that did have the balls to kill a kid, and that's one to add to the list. You don't see that too often. You don't see little kids getting killed in films like this too often. So, and that little kid, that she sold it. Again, maybe she wasn't really an actress. I don't know. Maybe because you didn't see it actually happen, and you just heard a sound, and maybe that wasn't a real kid, not an actor, and the film crew just said, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do. Are you cool with it?" Got the parents' permission. Who knows? Should look that up now. Because that was probably the most authentic. Because the other kids, actually, I'll say that the other kid, the Girl Guide girls, those girls, felt more like actors. Whereas that first kid, okay, we're starting off with a kid getting killed. Wow, that set up a pretty. When that was your first victim, it really felt like you're in for somebody pretty bad here. A movie that's going to be pretty disturbing. And of course, we didn't see much of it. It was more, everything was implied, which is good, actually, because you don't really want to see that kind of thing. So, I don't know. It's a movie that had the guts to do that. But I was glad they didn't take it too far to kill those Girl Guide cookie girls. I was glad they didn't take it that far. I think that would have been a little much. I think that would have been. There's Susie Lopez. Hey, Susie, how you doing? Let's go back to the chat here for a bit. And you guys share your thoughts. Bootleg 317 did. He said, I really enjoyed Poughkeepsie Tapes and found it genuinely creepy. The only thing I dislike a lot is the 911. Yeah, the 9/11 reference. Yeah, that was just too convenient and contrived for me. Yeah, and I guess, and to that point, a little bit to as far as one of my dislikes is this movie kind of almost made 9/11 not feel like it should be like 9/11 was what. How do I explain it now? 9/11 stopped this poor cop from getting, exonerated and so the deaths of 50,000 people or however many people died in 9/11, I don't even know now. I think it could be up to 100,000 or something now. I don't know. It's a lot of people. So those deaths aren't more important than this cop. I don't know, being exonerated, and the cop should be exonerated, and the world does need to know that there's still a killer out there. Run the story again, do the story again at the right timing. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, because it's important. You do have to, yes, you have to make sure everybody knows, we didn't actually get the guy. And how long did that trial last and everything? Like, how long did it, were there not still killings and stuff? People going missing during this time that the trial was going on? That's another little thing I'm kind of like, I don't know. Hard to say. Hey, there's Carlos from the Laser Reviewer, and we got Movie Fan 5738. This is Jason from Facebook. Hope I'm not too late. You're a little late, but that's okay. We've kind of covered most of the basis of this film. Have you seen the Poughkeepsie tapes? Again, why is that so hard for me to say? Poughkeepsie. I've heard I heard of the town Poughkeepsie before. For some reason, it's so hard for me to say the Poughkeepsie tapes. It's the and the tapes at the end kind of throw me off. If I just say Poughkeepsie, it's not an issue. But if I say the Poughkeepsie tapes, it's hard for me to say. I did okay there, but anyways, getting off topic now. Poughkeepsie tapes was one of the most disturbing movie experiences I've ever had. The ending still haunts me to this day. Hey, it was for I don't want to say new movie, newer-ish movie. It definitely it had some vibes. Again, the criticisms I've made of it so far were I guess the fact that it feels like an Unsolved Mysteries episode to an extent, but one that is fake. So it's almost like you'd rather watch an Unsolved Mysteries episode rather than this movie, because that this one is fake, rather than... I've heard some people say that some of those Unsolved Mysteries were staged too, but I don't know. I don't know. Again, this one felt like a movie, whereas I don't know. Those shows just feel like they are real. I don't know. I could be wrong though. Never seen it. I'll have to check it out. Is it English? I thought it was. No. It's English. Poughkeepsie is in New York. That's like a Jewish town or something like that, isn't it? Poughkeepsie. I've heard of the town Poughkeepsie before. So, yeah, it's in English. It's in English. I probably wouldn't watch it if it was foreign, because I'm terrible with subtitles, and I'm bad. Although I gotta admit, I am better than I used to be, because I remember in my 20s when I watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I couldn't keep up at all. I didn't know what the hell that movie was about. I just saw people flying all over the screen, and yeah, I couldn't keep up with the subtitles. I tried for like the first 5-10 minutes, and then it just I was lost. But I guess about a year ago was when Parasite came out. Saw that, loved it actually. Was able to keep up with all the subtitles, so I was worried about that. I'm like, maybe I can do it now. Maybe this brain is handling this kind of stuff. Again, my attention span, for whatever reason, that's one thing in my older age. My attention span is better now. In my 20s, not so much. I'm losing a lot of other things, but like my hearing is getting worse. I've got This ear here is, I got like weird low end things happening. I get like buzzing and stuff. I don't like it. Getting old sucks, guys. It does. But it has to happen. All you can do is deal with it. I don't know. I could go to the doctor and say, "Hey, I got this buzzing in my ear," and he'll say, "Yeah, that." I know what my doctor's going to say. Dr. Kiss is going to say, "See, that happens. You're in your 40s now, so here's to life in your 40s." But anywho, yeah, and if there is another issue I do have with this movie, I do feel like at the end, like not at the end, the credits basically. I guess it's the credits. They tried to. They said to the victims' families, and they put all the families' names. It's like they tried to push the envelope that it was real. And I'm like, no, that's not real. Come on now. Why are they doing that? You know, they're trying to pull one on us here, and so I don't know. I don't think that was necessary, but I mean, I can see why. I can see why they do it, to make it feel like an authentic Dateline or Unsolved Mysteries episode. Anyways, can't wait for the Sawyer Massacre. Is it still a bit of a wait for DVD? Oh, yes. Oh, it's definitely still a wait. We are about a third of the way through the edit of the movie. When I say edit, that is cutting the picture together and the color. It still has to go in for sound design after that. So we're a third of the way through the edit. Our premiere is set to happen on August 26th, though. We are confident that the movie will be ready for that premiere. If for whatever reason we have to push it, we'll push it. But I think it's pretty easy to say it'll be ready then. But we're not going to release it on YouTube until October. We haven't set an actual release date yet, but the premiere in Austin, Texas, will be August 26th. There you go. So if you want to see the movie early, we do have tickets to the premiere on our campaign. Tickets, VIP and general admission. You can see the movie early. And the cast and crew will be there. Most of the cast and crew. I think there might be a few people that can't make it. We'll see. I'm trying to get everybody there, but it seems like an impossible task. It seems like an impossible task. Just getting me there is going to be tricky. It's a bit of a trip from Canada, but I'll be there. I will be there in Austin on the 26th for the premiere. And release date in October sometime. I'm going to figure that we're going to narrow it down this week, I think, when we want to release it. I don't want to release it too close to Halloween, though. So it could, I think it's going to be early October. That is my guess, yes. When will the Indiegogo DVDs go out? Will that be in October or after? That is very, very hard to say. It'll probably be long after October, though, because they have to be manufactured. And I'm just going off of what I've heard from other fan films and other films that do the same thing, crowdfund off of Indiegogo, is that these companies that do these Blu-rays and DVDs, they take a while for whatever reason. They get backed up with orders. I don't know why. I think it's mostly Blu-ray, because Blu-ray is the most popular, and they get tons and tons and tons and tons of orders for Blu-ray. I know that as far as the ratio of Blu-ray to DVD on our Indiegogos was about 10-1, probably. So maybe the DVDs would be faster. I don't know. I don't like to predict that at this point, but it's very likely. It's very likely that we won't have DVDs sent out till early next year. Again, I can't make promises. It's possible we could get them sent out by October. Hard to say for sure. As soon as we have the full cut of the film, we're going to be sending the film, though, to the manufacturer, and we'll get the DVDs and the Blu-rays and VHS. We have a different manufacturer for VHS. I kind of wish we had one that could do European VHS, because Europe is different formatting or something. I know we've had a few people from Europe want VHS, but we can't do them for them. Anyways, but yeah, that is my prediction is that all that stuff will be long after October. That's my prediction. I think we'll have the movie finished by the end of August, though, as that is when our premiere is. So I really hope we will. We'll kind of play it by ear. The editor has a certain date cut off that he needs to finish cutting and coloring the film. And if he doesn't hit that date, then we'll probably have to push it back. We'll see. But I think he will. He seems to be on track. So, yeah. He seems to be on track. Anyways, that's getting away from what we're talking about. But, overall, anything else notable I should say about the Poughkeepsie tapes? Big things again. Killed a kid. Opening kill was a kid. Didn't see it. It was off camera, whatever. But it brought a certain level of what's the word I'm looking for? Made it disturbing. We'll just say that. We'll just say it made it disturbing, and it just went on from there. And it was pretty good. I don't know. Overall, it was pretty good. I don't think they should make a lot of movies like this. Should there be a sequel to this movie? If they did, they shouldn't do it the same way. They should make it on the same killer, though. I kind of do like that we never find out who this killer is. And you kind of have to wonder, did the police ever find out who the name of this guy is? I mean, they found the house that he was living in and renting and all, but what was the guy's name even? Was it really Ed, as he had mentioned earlier in the film when he, killed that couple in the car? So they asked him his name, and he said Ed, but, it was almost like, is that really his name? There is potential for a different kind of sequel with this. Or a prequel. I don't know, or a different type of version of this film, play out a certain part of what we hear about in this film, but actually get into some actual depth of, a certain amount of the killings or whatever. There's potential for that. So, yeah. Let's see what you guys are saying. Steve, you should watch Lake Mungo. It's similar in style to Poughkeepsie tapes. Oh, okay. Well, I've seen two kind of in the similar style now. Next week I might want to try something a little different. We'll see. I don't know. Lake Mungo, though. I'll put it on the I'll look it up. You guys can start suggesting other films for me. Now, again, I'm not as far as this film goes, I'm not giving it a rating or anything. I'm not a reviewer, guys. I'm just chatting about it, telling you what I liked, what I was intrigued about, what I didn't like about it, all that kind of stuff, and hearing your guys' thoughts. It's good. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? I think we've pretty much got most of that from the chat. So, but now's your guys' chance to give me some suggestions for next week, because I'll do this again next week. If you guys like me doing this, if you guys like me sitting through first time watches, you guys can suggest anything. So far, our only suggestion is for Lake Mungo. So unless there's other suggestions, maybe that'll end up being the one. What else do you guys want me to watch? Haven't seen Lake Mungo, so but again, I have to be able to access it. I don't know. Is it on Netflix or Tubi or YouTube or Vimeo? I'd recommend Gacy with Mark Holt. So it's probably seen that one though. I have seen one John Wayne Gacy movie. I don't know if that's the same one. It might be. It might be the same one. It was a while ago though. I think it was on Netflix that I watched it. Probably back in like 2011 or so. I think. It might be different. I'll look it up. And if it looks like it's a different one, I know they've got like a Gacy documentary now. They have like the Gacy tapes, right? Is it called the Gacy tapes that they have on Netflix now? That is, so it's kind of like the Poughkeepsie tapes, but it's really John Wayne Gacy. Oh, by the way, they had it was Ted Bundy, right? They had footage. Obviously, it wasn't really Ted Bundy, though, was it? Or was it? I don't know. Sometimes I think it probably wasn't really Ted Bundy, because it was, it was one of those old cameras from far back, and yeah, couldn't have really been Ted Bundy. That was another thing that kind of made me wonder when a lot of this stuff was taking place. Like, did this happen in the 80s and go all the way into 2001? Who knows? You didn't get any time frame other than you didn't get any time stamps in this movie other than 2001. So, yeah. That sounds like Dear Mr. Gacy. Could be. I don't know. I'll definitely look at it. It could be. It might not be. I definitely did see one John Wayne Gacy film. Trying to remember it. But I definitely did see a John Wayne Gacy movie. I think you can rent Mumbo on Amazon Prime. Well, I don't want to rent it. I want free stuff. I have Amazon Prime. I watched the Firestarter remake earlier. It was okay. Nothing memorable. Well, it's just another remake probably, right? Another remake. Did we need it? Hey, some films are better when they're remade. I'm always open to it. But, do we need it? I don't know. What other suggestions do you guys have? Give me something, guys. Give me more than this. Otherwise, it's between Lake Mungo and Gacy. And I don't want to pay to rent something on Amazon Prime. It's got to be the free one. A Cure for Wellness is pretty good. I've heard of that one. Don't think I've seen that. Don't think I have. Saw that on Tubi last week. Okay. Cure for Wellness. Okay. You guys can suggest anything, too. Like I said, there's a lot of popular films I haven't seen. Was talking about all the Conjuring stuff earlier, all the spin-offs of that, and Insidious films, blah, blah, blah. Haven't seen a lot of those. Seen some of them, but not all of them for sure. You looking for anything in the horror genre? I mean, just name off films in the horror genre, and I'll make a choice. I'm not just into slasher types, psychological thrillers. Those are kind of my go-to. Psychological stuff really is my go-to when it comes to horror. Room for Rent is not bad. Room for Rent. Okay. Never heard of that one. Never even heard of that, so. It gives me options to go off of. I like having options. I do like having options. Because I look up the synopsis and stuff like that. It's fun. And it gets me excited. I watched what I should have done this last week was watch the trailer for Banshee Chapter. I should have done that last week and I didn't. This week I did watch the trailer for Poughkeepsie tapes and was pleasantly surprised. I was like, okay, yeah, this definitely makes me want to watch this movie. Cell with Samuel L. Jackson. I think I have seen that one. It's sounding very, very familiar. Yeah. Come on, guys. Is it really just Jared that's giving me the suggestions? I'm sure. Once Bitten with Jim Carrey. Yes, I think that was one I was potentially going to do this week. It looks like it's, vampire horror comedy. Which would be cool. That's like early Jim Carrey from what I saw. It was like 1985. Haven't seen it though, so I might like it. I did see one 80s Jim Carrey movie with Alan Thicke in it. Both Canadians, by the way. That was kind of neat. And Jim Carrey's character's name was Bobby Todd, I remember. I don't remember the name of the movie, but I always remember that Bobby Todd was his name because one of my dad's longtime friends was named Bobby Todd. So we always just kind of remember it for that. It doesn't seem like a name you would hear too often, Bobby Todd. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, I guess, I'm sure there are lots of Bobby Todds out there. Some of them might go by Robert Todd. Some of them might go by Bob Todd or Rob Todd. I don't know. Bobby Todd just flows better. What else we got here? Exists. A good found footage Bigfoot movie. Ooh. Interested. I think it's also directed by the guys who did... or is it just one of the guys who did Blair Witch? Or is that the new Blair Witch? If it's directed by the same guy who did the new Blair Witch, I'm probably checking out. Because I think I saw... he's the same guy that did You're Next, right? And I didn't like that movie. I know a lot of people seem to like that movie. I didn't like it. I didn't like You're Next. No. His style is just totally not for me, I think. It's just really not for me. Anyways. The Sitter, about a crazy killer babysitter. Boy, Jared here is the only one that's got any suggestions now, guys. Carlos had one, I think, with Lake Mungo. Did anybody else come up with a suggestion? Come on, Bootleg 317 and Movie Fan 65738. I can't. Jason, I believe, and Susie Lopez, and who else do we have in the chat today? Father Mahoney, Mario Degree Centigrade. Hey, where are you, Mario? We haven't heard from you in a while. Just saying. It was the original Blair Witch. Okay. Was it just one of the guys, or was it both guys? Because I think that they kind of departed after a while. They tried to do a couple films together, and it was like, it's not going so well now, so go my way and you go your way. And they both still didn't really have any big success after that. But, one I think you should check out is Midsommar. Yes, I've seen that. Again, that wasn't my cup of tea either, though. Tamara from 2005. Haven't seen that. Yeah. So some good suggestions. But thank you for at least suggesting Midsommar. Again, I did see that last year with my wife. Wasn't my cup of tea. I think it was mostly all the I don't know. It's a lot of the drug stuff, about being on, I don't know, and the overall concept of it was kind of like a really, really bad breakup, basically. I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea, though. There's one Ed Gein movie starring Kane Hodder. It's odd. Huh. Do you know what it's called? If it's Kane Hodder, I can probably look it up and find out. I have seen one Ed Gein movie. I believe it was just called Gein, I think. Or may have been called Ed Gein. I don't know. Castle Freak is one I liked a lot too. Now we're getting some good suggestions here. Now it's not just the Drayton Sawyer anymore, so I like that. Okay, Castle Freak. I haven't. I liked a lot. The remake really blew. So don't watch the remake of Castle Freak. It has to be the original. Make a note of that too. There you go. Well, you guys can keep putting suggestions in the comments. It's good to it's good to have these suggestions. I'll go through them, choose one, see what I like. It'll be interesting next week. What's the date next week? Today's the 14th. Oh, the 21st. I think it's the 21st next. I think that was Kyle was in our chat earlier. Kyle was in our chat earlier, and he was asking me about. He sent me a message about doing a live. I might not do this show next week, or I might do it on a different day. I'll keep you posted. Might do it on a different day. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. If I have to postpone it, then I will. Ricker is an interesting one. People crap on it all the time, but really liked The Strangers Pray at Night. Oh, okay. I haven't seen... That's the sequel, right? I haven't seen the sequel. I didn't mind the first one. I didn't like it as much as most people did, though. I think it definitely had some things I had issues with. So, but yeah. The first Strangers was good too, but my favorite, but not my favorite by, yeah, it's basically what I'm saying. Not my favorite by, yeah, it was okay. I don't know. I think a lot of these home invasion ones, I don't know. What did you think of Freddy versus Jason? Oh, I'll be honest, Jason, since it's Jason. I'm not a big fan of these shared universe style movies. I don't know. I didn't care much for it. It's been a while. Maybe I need to revisit it, but I didn't really care for it. I'm just never been a big fan of shared universe type of horror movies. Really, they're not my cup of tea. I know they have an audience. I know it's so cool to see these icons together in a movie, but do they fit? I don't know. I mean, if there's a way that they can, I don't know. I didn't buy it. I remember when I was watching it, I just felt like this was a chance to put these two iconic movie killers together. So, I don't know. It didn't really work for me. Not for me. But again, it's been a while. It might be one I should revisit. It might be, but. Not for this show because it's his first time watches only on this show. But I got a good bunch of suggestions now. I think I can go with that, and I'll pick one for next week. If it's not on Saturday, then it might be on a different day, or we might push it to the following week. I don't know. We'll see how much time I got. That's basically what it boils down to. We'll see how much time we got. If not, you'll definitely see me on next Thursday for MERLO'S movie Massacre. We're going to talk Texas Chainsaw Massacre next week for sure. I know that's my primary function of that show. But we do dabble in other horror, and I have guests on. I would like to have a guest on next week, but I haven't booked one. I would kind of like to have a guest on for next week's episode, though. So we'll see if I can get somebody on. Anybody who's a big Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, anybody who's got strong opinions on the last film, and will reach out to me, and we'll get you on the show. All right, guys. Thank you guys all for the suggestions. And what did you think of the Poughkeepsie tapes? I liked it. Is it my favorite thing ever? No. But I really enjoyed it. I was very intrigued to watch this movie. And there's definitely a lot to like about this movie. I do see a potential for a sequel for this film. I'm not going to do it, obviously, but I think there's a potential sequel there. But I don't think this movie made a lot of money from what I saw online. Didn't look like it did. So there's another good suggestion, Oculus. I have not seen that. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. So I'll just go through all the suggestions and pick one. Thank you guys. You guys have a good rest of your weekend. And look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.